The real truth about extraterrestrials, those not of this world. It is time for you to start subscribing. I made a new decision. This is a new day. You will want to see these videos henceforth. Press the like button and subscribe. Many people wondered in the past why so many videos of very high wisdom disappeared from my channel. Think know more about that. Subscribe and watch greater ones appear. Yes, there are things that I might not say, but there is much that I will. First, in our 3D vocabulary, we receive the word celestial as a definition of those that came from the sky. This is the word that came to us as even in the Bible, and it referred to these astronauts as celestials and sometimes the angels. However, the angel is an ambiguous term that will befit a zealot, for the word are to be a vessel that carries out the work of God. Therefore, we would also define oxygen as an angel of the air. At the same time, your kind neighbor that could not resist helping everyone in need was an angel of God. In many troubled times, he or she was the empath who was sent by God to say, I was just thinking about you, and here I brought you this apple pie. So I will tell you that an extraterrestrial is a celestial being. But what is truly celestial? The word which we already defined, celestial, is ambiguous, just in that same way as the word cosmic is ambiguous. In fact, all words are ambiguous because our world is multidimensional. We live in three dimensions where each dimension is a complete existing plane. When we sleep and dream, it is ordered by a two-dimensional design of mental and spiritual. When we are awake, it is ordered by a two-dimensional order of mental, physical, and spiritual. The wizards that understand the true value of these planes also know how to create conditions that create worlds and their paradigms. This is why these wizards can trap you, visit you, or reckon upon you via your dreams. And if you have no great autonomous free will, they can enter and challenge your personal will to be, you being unconscious of the intrusion to your dream plane. They can attach to you the faults or beliefs that make them overpower you. Sometimes, when you dream, you visit places unbefitting of you. You are not of that world, and sometimes, for lack of the faculty of survival, you become fearful. You are in a nightmare, and God bless you if you wake up soon. If you dream about a world where they are flying, but because you cannot fly, you are unable to escape the danger on the ground, it is because you are not of this world, but you came with lesser faculties. If you are in a dream world where you fly and you defeat the enemies on the ground, it is not your world. You are not one of it, but you have powers that have vested in you great advantages. You go conquering and to conquer with your power, and you develop a sense of godlikeness. And so again, if that man came here by design of higher power as an alien to this world, working wonders either by words or deeds, if he physically does the things that is not ever possible upon your plane, he is an extraterrestrial. And if he says words that you cannot fathom, but they will transcend that degree of your understanding, he is not of your world, and it is good to learn from him because the fact that he is here tells you that there is a coming higher dispensation and you should be glad to be a witness. You should simply say, it is good to be here, for God and history shall record your judgment on every day at the crossroad where his sent ones arrive. I said that I come at every crossroad. and upon the year of 1966, there was no difference. That terrific year was done, and I came between the beginning and the end of the new, at midnight between Friday and Saturday, between the first and the last, December 31 and January 1st. I came at all crossroads. I celebrate at a crossroad, for no one knows which day is actually my day. I have a junction to celebrate, a crossroad upon where to decide which way to go. I come to cast off the old and bring in the new. This is what all empaths do. I come at every crossroad, and I almost died. I came between the living and the dead at a crossroad because I was set crossways in the uterus. I come between that joy and that pain, where they feared death but waited to celebrate life. I came in that sorrow to bring the joyful relief. We come at every crossroad, and the universe is the master of the irony. This is why we say nothing is a coincidence. There will be a series of coincidences, and that is saying that it was deliberate. There is no coincidence. But when I was born and I saw that circle of life, I knew what I came here for. That memory is stamped on my retina. Even though the image was in my mind, yet it seemed like that fiery circle was placed in front of my physical eyes. If this was a coincidence, then tell me who else remember the first experience at the moment of birth. I am your extraterrestrial too. There is much to explain on this topic. I do not want to do more than the one video. If necessary, this might be a little bit long. If you want to experience these words, listen until the end. Every dimension of reality is a paradigm ordered in perpetual motion, and paradigms might ascribe to a degree of conventionalism. Conventional orders make it reality. For if something was not absolute, there would be no way to focus on a truth that authorizes something as real. With each authorized way of definition, by each vocabulary word, you receive a new degree of reckoning. These ordered or prescribed truths can be godly or demonic. They can be beneficent or malevolent, depending on the God creator of their paradigm. Where the masses are autonomous beings, free will remains, and the paradigm is of free spirits in a free world. Where the masses are passive minded or sheeply minded, there will be a paradigm of kings and peasants, followers and leaders, gods and servants. This is similar to this earth world plane that you now reside on. When you begin to see those that were not of your world, and even your own family members becoming like aliens, you know that the new dispensation is being pronounced right before your eyes. They did not climb the ladder to that pinnacle by studying here. They came already made to receive the download that came with them at birth and that they knew they would receive at the appointed time. This life is no more the mundane norm as you came to embrace. You better start shifting your mindset from Scooby Doo to Star Trek, or be left in the coming rubbles of tomorrow's design. None of us that come to speak will speak without authority. Look around you and see the numbers multiply. We bring to you more greater vocabularies, and these words and awarenesses will make God's children greater gods than yesterday. If you still see blasphemy in this truth, if you still think that extraterrestrials do not come from the same uterus as you, then be left in the rubbles of the third world dimensional hell plane that we have already destroyed. Before you knew there was a word as deja vu, you had no reason to explore the concept. You would experience deja vu without actually paying much mind to it. The fact that this word was given to your vocabulary did open up your mind to the degree of higher explorations. You became wiser with greater expanses to view. But now Not only are we here to bring new words, but we are also here to absolve and redefine. Some shackle you and need to be redefined, while there are spaces for words that do not even exist for you. This is a long journey. I told you some time ago that the world and the earth are not the same. The world is a spirit order of conventional reason. It is a paradigm or order of conventionalism. It is a spiritual edifice. The spirit and man created God of the earth. This spiritual edifice is that rock that is higher than the people. It is a conjure similar to money that put spirit to the wind, and it became a real force of reckoning to be reckoned upon and to be governed by. The spiritual world has four corners, and it is the Mason's square by which he has calculated the spiritual force for the physical sphere. By this, he puts life into the physical earth airplane by his wizardry. The earth is that physical circle which we say is spherical. The four winds of the earth are four words or phrases upon where the conventional order is secured. It began with word. In the beginning was the word. There could be no world order without the magician saying abracadabra. I hope you understand that I am not talking in any allegorical sense at this point. It is the four winds that make a square, and within that box, all your norms and possibilities are defined, prescribed, and enforced. The four winds of your world also denote and create the order that also becomes the pyramid. Your masters are at the top of that pyramid, but their gods are on the outside of the pyramid. They hold your world, for they created it, but they are open to the universe and are not of your world. Every single one of your messiahs will declare that he or she is not of this world. Every one of your Messiah is an extraterrestrial. He is subscribed not of your terrestrial plane. He knows not your spiritual edifice as the truth. He is from the outer pyramid, so he knows the truth of all. Man's body resides upon the dimension of a physical earth airplane, but his mind is trapped within the box of a four-wind plane consisting of spiritual orders are principles that are enforced by subliminal mind trappings of cult. The four winds are the utilities of mindset cultivation, and the gods of your earth have definers that administer, maintain, and create the norms. I am telling you the practical truth, but it sounds like fantasy to you. There are masters of this mind science that work to keep you restricted by limiting your ability to perceive. You must be under the God spells at all times. You must subscribe to the spell of Baba or confounded vision. This kind of enchantment might also happen in other worlds, where energy vampires, as your Chitauri demons, rule as God. If you do not know that better exists, and you cannot use your minds to fathom it, we will be at odds to show you. From the top of every pyramid, the celestial sun shines light. To our earth plane, there is that semblance of a sun, but there also is that greater central sun of light. We that stay at the zenith of that central sun have light. We are sons of God, sons, S of God, for every child of the sun, SUN, who sets upon the zenith of the sun, SUN, is as a photon, the light, the Son of God, SUN, Son of God, the Son that is God, coming from heaven as the light to seed your world. By the spiritual fact that we come to your world from a higher spiritual plane, you will conceive that we are the extraterrestrials. We speak from three dimensions simultaneously, but to you it seems like madness. You see them as separate factors, physical, spiritual, and mental. We understand that they are simultaneous and must always be reckoned upon as that way. Each word we speak, each thought we make, and each deed we perform are always done in view of all three spheres. We are aliens to you, for you see the physical thing and that is it. We understand how you were made by a spiritual edifice, and now you can only see the physical. There are only a few at the top of your pyramid that fully understand all this. You have a God on this earth who shepherds and enslaves you, but he is not of this world. A goat farmer is not from the goat pen, and he sees beyond the paradigm that these goats understand, are above the routine that they were taught and believe in. Can I free your minds with these lessons? No, but I can open your eyes. You can free your minds. If I told you that we do not have to read your mind to know your thoughts and intentions, to break down the aspects of divine mind science that created your paradigm would not take me 2 hours. Your mindset was made to such a basic template that it is near the lowest. It barely affords you more than a few vocabulary words, each from one of four categories. These include banking and economics, sociology, superstition, including as religion, and contorted versions of science used as magic or esoteric catches. Then there is politics applied in the form of religion. This is a subtle truth which Earth Norm will never expose to you. You will never know until you see the view up from an extra-dimensional plane. You will never know until you see the view from an extra-dimensional plane. Politics is turned into religion and applied to you as a means to make your masters gods over you. You know nothing else but these four pinnacles and their dynamics, but you think and feel like you do. You do think and feel as if you know a lot. This is why I will remain impossible as far as you can see. I make the allegory of a paradigm where mankind existed as being supported from above, their heads being held by a hanging string. When we come to explain of a world where the heads are lifted up on standing bodies, it will seem impossible to their conventional minds. It was not in their range of norm, unless upon a more advanced plane, it is not easy to have the masses believe the unusual. The four wind pinnacles of Earth paradigm make their minds straddle between chambers in a means to confuse and control. In this sense, they will mistake the word normal conveniently just to hold on to their conventional belief without knowing it. At one pole, it will mean that which usually occurs, and polarized, it will erroneously mean that which is impossible. If I would try to explain the template created upon these four winds, it would take some time for the people to grasp. Yet I can explain it all in a hour or two. We are masters of creation, and worlds with their paradigms are easier to create than it is to start a business. Worlds with their paradigms are easier to create than it is to start a business. It only takes more time, more support, and more collaboration by a God force. It is like starting a goat farm is easier than starting a bank. When I spoke about the same effect that occurred at the split experiment exercise, it was at the time before it was ever heard of. I was laughed at and ridiculed. It was seen as impossible. Now I would be laughed at if I said what they thought would make sense at that time in the 1980s. There was this arrogant, peacocky, braggadocious fellow once. You know the kind of person who achieved below you but pretend as if he has a lot more. I remember telling him about using the vinegar to remove the chicken scent he left in the chicken splatter on the counter, as he did not use or have limes or disinfectant at hand. So he went laughing at me and telling everyone how dumb I was for suggesting the impossibility. But everyone he turned to was looking at him, flabbergasting, stupefied eyes. They were looking at him with flabbergasting, stupefied eyes, not knowing how to answer his ignorance, for he was waiting on them to laugh with him. Then one mustered the courage and said, "Vinegar is good to remove the scent. I use it sometimes. Sometimes there is no one to tell you that this thing is actually real, so you might think it is impossible. This is the problem. This is what happens just because you were not afforded the inside information. So, the extraterrestrial is those from a different plane. In mind, all levels of mindset cultivations are different spheres. Mind is the same as the cosmic. You can relate to the cosmic as physical, but it would never exist without the spiritual same. The spiritual is all encompassing of these, for it is the energy utility of all. It is the beginning factor, but therein was mind intrinsic. I am not of your world, for it is of a mundane cult. I am from the cosmic mind force, which we call the mental plane. It is mind, and mind is God. It creates. It is the result of that first light, which is generic consciousness. As soon as there was awareness, conscience was created. Conscience is a much larger word than we believe. See how mind conjures that the conscience. Okay, the mind conjures that the seed fall to the ground. This works. The seed falls to the ground, and then the rain will fall for it to grow. This is the universal conscience, the God principle of justice to all. By the principle of intrinsic, we came by that same cosmic image of God that we replicate. By way of conscience, we create, and we create with justice and fair balance. Wherever, therefore, the conscience is given, it is given to authority, by authority. And planes where their residents are not afforded their personal autonomy, respecting their own divine conscience ascribed to them by their own sense in God, there is hell and slavery. On planes where their residents are not afforded their personal autonomy, respecting their own divine conscience ascribed to them by their own sense in God, there is hell and slavery. Intelligence in the unconscionable mind is anarchy. A slave is one who lost his objectiveness. His critical mind is confounded vision. He is cultivated to a passive mediocre mindset and a God spell set upon him. God is extracted from his divine and placed to the ulterior from whence his soul is trapped, caged and owned and his energy stolen. This is the definition of this earth paradigm and we are not of it. The seeding of lower planes begin at the coming of extraterrestrials. They were born to you, born with you, and born among you. They are your ticket to liberty. They are your way. They are your truth. And they are your salvation. And that is why you hate them so. You hate their sense of autonomy because you fear to defy the slave master. Everything I say are the things I see on the blueprint of your conventional world structure. Some are mere laborers, some are builders, but some are their architects that conjure the structures from the divine plane, and these are those that can read their blueprints. You cannot show me the blueprint and tell me different from what I read. I am not your sheep. I am a God creator and not of your sheep pen. While you say I am a confused one who knows not what I say, those that shepherd you will know me from the first word. And if many of you do not care or do not know me, I could be famous in their high places, for I am more like your oppressors. If many of you do not care or do not know me, I could be famous in their high places, for I am more like your oppressors, but I do not choose to oppress you. They rule you from the cosmic, but they are celestial beings to you. I reside at the outer pyramid upon the zenith of the sun. I too am not of your world. This is the definition of extraterrestrials. These things I say are not rocket science, neither are they unknown wisdoms upon the earth. It is simply that knowledge is only held and given to the upper pyramid to some degree, and to the outer pyramid to the ultimate strength. We, at the zenith of the sun, stay in the wind of the all-knowing. Here we seek and find. Here we have that channel where cosmic forces will flow through us. There is a pint of all-knowing. There is a point of all knowing. The universe knows all. The universe knows all. All has happened at some time in perpetual motion. If all has happened, then all is experienced. If all is experienced, then all is known. We repeat same in cycles and we enjoy same because of useful forgetfulness. We, as we know ourselves, were never able to view the all at once. It does not mean that this channel is not the all that knows all. Peace out.